What if the most powerful spiritual path wasn't actually the hardest one? I mean, what if it's the other way around? Today, we're going to dive into a teaching that says the simplest way, one that's all about the heart, not a bunch of complicated rules, is actually the most profound path of all. I mean, really think about that for a second. Does spirituality have to be so complicated? Because a lot of the time it sure feels like it, right? It can seem like this giant maze of philosophies, super demanding practices, and all these intricate rituals. It's easy to feel like it's just completely out of reach. All right, so what if there's another way? A path that just cuts through all that noise and gets right to the heart of what it means to feel connected. Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. A path that's simple but incredibly powerful. Okay, so what is this path we're talking about? Well, it's called Bhakti Yoga, and that just means the path of devotion. Now, here's the really bold claim from our source material. It says this path is both the easiest and the most powerful way to connect spiritually. The whole idea is that simply directing our love and our faith, well, that's the most direct route you can possibly take. And right at the center of this whole path is this incredible promise. There's a quote from Krishna in the text that says, "Those who worship me with love, I protect them and guide them." Just think about what that's saying for a second. The connection isn't about performing perfectly or getting every little ritual just right. No, it's about a deep, personal relationship, one that's built on love. And with that comes a promise of real guidance and protection. All right, so if devotion is the path, then what does a person who's actually walking it look like? What really defines them? That's what we're going to explore next, the heart of a devotee. And this is a really crucial point. According to this teaching, a true devotee isn't defined by all the external stuff, the things you can actually see them doing. It's not about that. Instead, it's about their internal qualities. It's about who they fundamentally are on the inside. So what are these qualities? Well, the source text points to things like compassion, forgiveness, humility, and kindness. Those are like the big cornerstones. But it doesn't stop there. It also talks about simplicity, fearlessness, and this deep sense of steadiness. And it's all anchored in faith. But here's the key, right? These aren't just actions to check off a list. They're qualities you have to actually cultivate from within. And that brings us to what is, honestly, maybe the single most important idea in this entire teaching. And that's the difference between your internal attitude and your external appearance. So you've got this split, right? On one side, you have the internal attitude that Bhakti Yoga is all about. A focus on love and faith, making sure your actions come from a place of kindness, and really valuing humility. Then, on the other side, you have the external stuff, focusing on rituals, being concerned with how things look, and a life that's all about formal practices. The whole argument here is that everything on that first side, that's what truly defines a spiritual life. And this is exactly why this path of devotion is seen as being accessible to absolutely everyone. It's not about your background or your physical abilities or how much money you have. None of that matters. It depends only on one thing, the state of your heart. Okay, so we're talking about ancient wisdom here, but it feels so incredibly relevant, doesn't it? The real question is, how can we actually apply this stuff in our own busy modern lives? Let's try and break it down into a few key lessons. All right, here are the 3 big takeaways from all this. First up, love over rituals. Your sincere faith and love, they're way more powerful than just going through the motions of some formal ritual. Second, attitude over appearance. Your inner character is the real deal, not how spiritual you manage to look to other people. And finally, and this one might be the most important, kindness is key. Humility and genuine kindness, those are the ultimate signs that you're actually growing spiritually. And all of that brings us to one last question for you to think about. If devotion is really all about the heart, if it's expressed through things like compassion and kindness, then what's just one small way, even a tiny one, that you could practice it today? It's a powerful thought to leave you with. Thanks so much for joining me.